Welcome back to Aurelia. I'm Marcus Aurelius, and this is Age of Wonders 3, a roleplay campaign where you, the viewer, gets to make the decisions. And a lot is going to be changing in the near future of Aurelia, so please pay attention. First off, Frigoberto is in the Void. The Void is an interesting place. It is a place kind of between the realms of the living and the realms of the gods. And as a result, Stoica was able to appear to Frigoberto while he is wandering aimlessly in the Void. And what she told him was that human empires had risen and fallen throughout the past history of the world, but that she has decided to get involved on behalf of Frigoberto and the people of Aurelia. But in order to truly support them, she needs to know that they have what's best for the world in their sights. And as a result, she's asked Lord Frigoberto to put aside his prejudices toward any of the non-human races of the world and to accept them as full citizens into Aurelia. For only an empire that is willing to accept all people is an empire that can span the entire world. As a result, Frigoberto is going to put some work into removing his prejudices toward the halfling people, and also is going to take some time off from governing the empire of Aurelia. In fact, his companion, Ikera the Seeker, who even now rushes to Aurelia to greet Frigoberto as he arrives from the Void, her name, the Seeker, is not just for fun. She was given that name because she is in tune with the webs of magic, and she can find sites of great power. So what Frigoberto is going to do at the behest of Stoica is he and Ikera and their bodyguard are going to be questing throughout the lands of Aurelia, going to all of the hidden sites of power, some that have been discovered and some that have not, and hopefully clear them out, have their power dedicated to the good of Aurelia, and also hopefully locate some spells and items that may, of course, help the people of Aurelia continue their goal of uniting this whole world under the banner of Aurelia, under the banner of Stoica. However, the people of Aurelia need a leader during this time, and Frigoberto can't be out just gallivanting around without any type of plans for leadership. So what's going to happen is Anya the City Feller, Anya Slayer of Heroes, who perhaps is the most well-known Aurelian throughout the peoples of this entire world. While Frigoberto might be the pen of Aurelia, Anya has certainly been its mailed fist. She will be ruling the empire in Frigoberto's stead as his exarch. Now beneath her, and I'm going to put up a map here for everyone to see, there are going to be 6 wards, and each ward will be presided over by a warden. 5 of these wardens are going to be elected by the council, and we'll be doing that, and I'll explain that in a bit. 1 of them will be appointed. Now let's discuss what they are. From left to right, we have the ward of Helia. And to really explain that, I have to go into detail that in Leonis's empire, they worshipped 2 gods. The twin gods of the sun, progress, and of the darkness, the cold, and tradition. That being Helios and Arctica. Now, we are going to be accepting both of those gods into the Aurelian pantheon, since a large percentage of the people of these places worship them. So that explains the naming of the 2 westernmost wards. There is the ward of Helia, which includes the 3 cities of Leonis, 3 capital cities of his old empire. Of course, he renamed the city of Helia, and we renamed it back. That has long been the center of Helios worship in the world, but also the ward of Arctica. And if you'll notice the city of Njordland down at the bottom, that was a cartographer's error. We're actually going to be changing the name of that city to Arcticana, and Njordland is actually going to be the coastal city to the west, assuming that we can get control of it, which is one of our goals. So the 2 wards of Helia and Arctica are the westernmost wards, and Arctica includes the city of Stoicana, Tamara's Fall, and Arcticana, whereas the ward of Helia will include Helia, Njordland, and whatever it is we decide to rename Nickwind after capturing it. Then, east of that, there is the ward of Aurelia. That will include the old cities, Aurelia and Geldorf. To the northeast of that will be the ward of the Valley of Knowledge, and it's named such because of all the lost libraries that litter it. It will consist of the cities of Heraltisane and Aquarisia. And then to the north, there will be the ward of the Sea. This ward will not be elected. It includes the Kingdom of Lishanti, it includes Druze, and at some point, should we ever conquer the Zoki, his island, it will also include that. And that will be appointed to Admiral Emerson, our Master of Ships. He controls that ward because the sea is going to be very militarized soon, what with Karl sending ships down and potential war against others. So, and finally, the last ward will be the ward of the Underground. And that currently includes the city of Wanderer's Way and the city of Leticia. It will also, for the time being, include any new cities founded in the Underground, although once the Underground becomes heavily populated, we may need to split it up into alternate wards. So how this is going to work is all mayoral positions are now hereby closed down. So if you were a mayor, you are no longer a mayor. There will ostensibly still be mayors, but they will be under the wards. So the new elections that will take place will be for the 5 wards. If you are a non-mayor position, like for example, if you're the Master of Coins or the Master of Horse, you will continue to move forward with that position. Now, with regards to the wards, anyone can run to be a warden, okay? For example, if you are currently the Master of Coin, you can resign that position and run for the Warden of Aurelia or whatever province you'd like. You do not have to resign your position until you've actually been elected to a higher position. So that's fine. Also, if you happen to be a high priest or representative of one of the gods, you no longer have direct control over the city named after your god, but you could become a warden if you choose to. And you don't even have to be necessarily the warden of the ward that contains the city dedicated to your god. It's really up to you, however you want to do it. So what this means on a technical level is in the comments of this episode, I'm going to pin a thread, and you, if you are interested in being the warden of one of the 5 wards, then put down your name, your desire to do it, what ward you want, and also a little bit of information as to why you should be chosen. Now, what I want to stay away from is I want to stay away from people going into multiple threads and saying, hey, vote for me, I'm running for this ward. And the reason why I want to do this is because I don't want to create a situation where like 5 people run for one particular ward, like for example, the ward of Aurelia, and only one person runs for Helia, and then that's really not that much fun. So what I want is I want people up to the wire to be able to switch what ward they want. That way, if someone just wants a ward and they don't care which one it is, they can change halfway through and pick one that still has a little bit less competition. I just think that's more fun. Everybody gets a chance. So go ahead and in the pinned thread, write your name, the ward you're interested in, and a reason why you should be selected. And of course, you can go back at any time and edit it if you change your desire of what word you want. This will last. Okay, I'm going to be recording 5 episodes right now, of which this is the first. And those 5 episodes will be planned out over the next 2 weeks. Episodes 2 through 5 will be on Tuesdays and Thursdays of this coming week and the following week. And episode 1, which I'm recording right now, will hopefully be as soon as possible, hopefully today, Sunday night. And so you have between now and Wednesday to put in your nominations. At that point, on the Thursday episode, which will be episode 3, so the third one from this one, that's when I will post up the link to the census and the election rolls. And at that point, I will list everyone who up to Wednesday has been nominated and allow everyone to vote. Now, the vote will last for 10 days. It will last beyond the following Thursday to the following Sunday, which is when I'll record the episodes based on the winner of the vote. So, okay, you have about 3 days, give or take, to place your nominations, and then there'll be 10 days, because I want everyone who gets a chance to vote to vote. I don't want to have the vote go over too quickly, because there's some people that can't watch the episodes, immediately after they air, and I want to give as many people as much time as possible. So that's it. that will be the 5 positions up for voting, the 5 wards of Aurelia, as they are currently. As things grow, as our empire continues to expand, certainly we're going to need to condense them even further. But for right now, I think that's good. We have entered a new era of Aurelia. Before, it was the era of formation, the era of just survival. And now that we've conquered the other human empire, and we have a very solid base at the southern part of the map, now we're in the second era of Aurelia, that is the era of expansion. And this era will be led by Anya the City Feller, while Frigoberto and Ikera go around questing and liberating magical sites. So I hope everyone's pleased with the direction that's taking. So first off, we have to upgrade Gaspard. And Erminon's kind of in charge of Gaspard, but let's see what would make sense based on the character she is creating. Shout of Intimidation. That does seem very Gaspardy. Not like a mean intimidation, but more like a jolly kind of, hey, you, kind of intimidation. Although Defense Command is a really good one, too. I think it makes more sense right now to do Defense Command. But eventually he will definitely want the Shout of Intimidation. Alright. Let's let Gaspard... Well, he can't really go anywhere. So these guys are going to wait too. Alright, Ignatius is going to join the armies here to try to take on this neutral city. These guys are going to head up to Druse. Horse archers. So our short-term goals during these 5 episodes, before the next council episode and when the vote actually takes place, is we are going to try to settle a city here on the Isthmus to protect our lands from Dwemus' lands. We're going to try to reconquer Nickwind and Hayden. Hayden, of course, will be renamed to Njordland. We have to rename the city, too. And we're going to hopefully get another city underground around here. And if we're really, really lucky, we can make preparations to start putting a city over here, too. But this one has a bit better bonuses for us, so we really want to focus on this one. And of course, once Frigoberto's back from the void, he and Ikara are going to go around to all the magic sites, starting with the ancient ruins down here. But that does not mean that we can stop thinking about our military. I mean, we do have a little bit of breathing room now to focus on development and exploration, but we are still at war with Karl, and eventually we want to take the fight to Zoki to add... I really want to add Frostlings to our empire. I think they have some really cool units that I want to exploit, and I'm really actually disappointed in a way that a lot of the races aren't represented in this game. The elves, for example, the orcs, the goblins. It's only basically humans, draconians, and halflings, essentially, in a teeny little Frostling empire, so we do what we gotta do. But, one thing I did not make clear is this is not going to be up to a vote. In order to have the kind of empire that Stoica wants the Aurelians to have, we have to accept all peoples on their merits, and as a result, the practice of slavery in general, but specifically non-human slavery, is going to be abolished. Now, we realize that those people who participated in this trade up to this point were doing so legally, so there will be absolutely no repercussions or detriment to those who were involved in the slave trade of Tigrans and Halflings and others. But it is now inside the borders of the entire Empire of Aurelia. There will be no slavery. And that's just how it's going to be. I was thinking of leading it up to a vote of the council, but I've decided that if we truly are going to represent all of these people, and the diversity of our empire is growing, even if we don't necessarily own any cities that are dominated by a particular non-human group, we have non-human gods, we have non-human counselors, and so it has become time that the practice of slavery should be abolished, and it has. Alright, first off, we have a hero join offer, but before we get to that, let's see what Karl's doing up here. I mean, he could take Lashanti, but I don't think he's gonna. Not even sure what's going on, if they've moved or... Okay, well, whatever. So, who do we got? Bosper the Fat Cat, a level 5 rogue, wants to join your forces. You know, we only have one rogue right now, that being Preston Garvey. Rogues are good, but at the same time, I kind of want an Archdruid. We don't have one of those yet. Bringer of Goodwill. All unit in the hero's army gain volunteer. That's pretty good that he starts off with that. He has acid darts already. So that's his main spell, or what he brings to the table, is the Bringer of Goodwill, which means he's cheap. Alright. Because of that, I think it's worth joining him. I would like an Archdruid, but you know, the more heroes, the merrier, really. I don't know why they keep appearing at Drew's, though. He's kind of a chubby fellow. So first off, we want to give him hit points. Alright. So let's think about how we want to develop Bosper the Fat Cat. He already has a skill that allows his armies to cost less, so it's important that we continue along that path and make him an army leader, as opposed to, like, for example, a Shadowblade would make him particularly stronger, but it won't necessarily make his army stronger. Counter Poison seems like a good one. So now they're poison resistant, which will help against the Archdruid, I'm pretty sure. We have Dirty Half Dozen, which gives Devout Slayer, which would help against Dweemus, certainly. We're going to go with Mastermind 2. All units in the hero's army gain Forest Concealment. I never really understood the concealment abilities. I guess when you're playing multiplayer, that's really important, but I don't see how it necessarily benefits against the AI. We'll go with Dirty Half Dozen. And the rest is just stuff for him. He could taunt, he could sprint. Sprint's always good, actually, for backstabbing and whatnot, so let's throw that in there. Alright, Bosper. We're going to actually get you out of here, though. Drew's is kind of an interesting place right now. Alright, Wanderer's Way. I see no reason to militarize it at this point. It seems relatively safe. It has stone walls. So let's start making our people happy with public baths. Actually, let's... Where's the... Domain of Earth. Okay, we're not quite ready to cast that. We need to save up some mana, which we shall. Leticia. Let's get that stone wall there, too. It might one day be put under danger. It's the closest underground city we have to Dweemus, I think. Alright, Geldorf. Well, Geldorf has been pretty good at this point making Swords Masters, and they're still very decent units. Maybe a Master's Guild would help, though, because it would allow us to produce things faster. I think we should use this little moment of calm to really improve our infrastructure. Helia. This is the one exception, because I think we need troops around here to take out these cities. And right now, Helia has some good stuff. They can take 1 turn Long Swordsman, 1 turn Shock Cavalry, 1 turn Daredevils, 1 turn Swords Masters with the gold medal, 1 turn Airships, of course, but I don't want to go overboard here. Let's actually try some Daredevils. We don't have any of those yet. They require a little bit of mana. Alright, Aurelia. Well, we've been meaning to get the Iron Legion out, so let's do so. Human Phalanx. It only takes 1 turn now. But then after that, I think we might want to also build a Master's Guild here. And maybe a Great Temple and the Great Palace. Since we've kind of fallen behind on the Imperial infrastructure. Tamra's Fall. It already has the walls. I guess we could just go with a siege workshop. Just to help production. Stoicana. We're going to start building Stoic and Knights here. So that's going to require our Stables of Vigor. And it's been said by members of the council that you don't actually get the benefit of a site until the site has been conquered. But I don't necessarily know if that's true. Because we were able to build, for instance, the Stables of Vigor. Oh, that's from the Spring of Life, though. Where is the Spring of Life? See, this gives the Enchanted Armory. That's the Crystal Tree. This is a gold mine. Oh, here's the Spring of Life. Okay, so we're getting the Stables of Vigor from this thing, which has apparently been explored. Not by us. By one of Leonis's guys. Okay, so this will get us the Tree of Life, which does what? Irregular units produced in the city have regrowth. That's not going to necessarily help us because we're not going to be producing many irregulars in Stoicana. Requires Lost City to be present in the domain. Oh yeah, duh, that's what it is. So this actually won't do much good for us at all. It'll give irregular units regrowth, but we're not going to be producing any irregular units, so no point in that. And terraforming the lands around Stoicana was definitely not a good idea. I'm sure it makes our people happier, and it's probably making us more income. So from gameplay perspective, that's nice, but it looks super ugly now. It doesn't look nearly as good as it used to. In fact, this area down here is kind of swampy and gross. Regardless. Let's, what do we have? We don't really... Alright, we're going to spend a lot of money on here. Let's go Siege Workshop first. Then we'll go Stables of Vigor. And then Veterans Hall. And then whatever gives us Cavaliers. Ah, okay, Gaspard. Before the end of this episode, Gaspard will take on this monster den. Or not. And actually, this is really great for us, because there's very few wandering monsters anymore, and that's one of the only ways for us to get good points. Anytime we declare war on somebody, it gives us evil points, but integrating them into our empire does not necessarily give us good points. The only thing that gives us good points is conquering a city and then letting it go as like a tributary. And I don't necessarily want to do that. So finding wandering monsters and letting them run away is probably the best way for us to build up some good points. And this is a pretty good weapon here. Gordon's Taunting Guisarm. Armor piercing, 2 damage to armored units, +1 melee strength, and deals an additional 3 damage against hero and leader units. So maybe Gaspard can be the next Anya, the next hero slayer. Regardless, it's time to head back. We're going to take on this inn. Oh. Where did Carl go? I was trying to keep a hold of him and I lost him. I don't see that they've landed anywhere. Now get back to the shanty. Alright, so that's a problem. We have potential hostiles running around. We have Satura here. We're going to send her up to Aquaresia. Although it has a substantial, well not substantial, but it has a decent garrison, I suppose. We're going to stay. Narvek. Alright. You could do us a favor and take out some of these old war machines of Leonis. We've already proven that the might of man far surpasses the steel of technology, but there are still unaffiliated groups of bandits roaming the area with high technology. Like that. What do you got, Narvek? Raise corpse? There's no dead units, though. Heal undead. Shortbow. Slingshot. Befriend animal. Black bolts is fun. Raise the corpse of a dead unit. Target corpse. So it has to be a corpse. He can't just raise undead kind of randomly out of the ground, unfortunately. Well. Does he have any magic? Death Ray. Does that work on a machine? Not greatly. Mounted archer. Oh boy. That flame tank's going to be a problem really soon. Cavalry. The cannon only can fire once every 2 turns, so we don't have to worry about that just yet. But we do have to worry about the flame tank. The reason I'm not getting closer is I'm worried about what the flame tank will do. Although it definitely will have enough movement to come down here and flame all these guys out. Mounted archers, they're a little beat up. Let's see if we can't entice the tank. These guys can take 1 hit, I think. Nope, it's going for the fatter prize. Alright, well, we gotta get Narvek out of here. He's on his last legs. But at least the tank now is in our power. Oh shoot, we can't reach him. Alright. Let's get our mounted archers over here. Whoops. Alright. Our monster hunters are okay. Everyone's okay. No one's great. And we just destroyed a wagon, just for fun. Alright, let's see what the cannon does. Nothing. Alright, excellent. Alright. Excellent. Good work, Narvek. It was a tough battle, but you did okay. That leaves us now with the city, which is Frederick, the Juggernaut, another flame tank, some cavaliers, and some priests. So it's a pretty tough city, all things told. I don't actually want to split up our forces here, but whatever. Oh, here we go. Ignatius will be here to help Narvek. Perfect. And our builder is going to continue building the road. Up to Tamara's Fall. And because so many people were making such a fuss about it, we're going to go and complete this road here. All the way to Stokana. Last thing we do before the end of the episode is we're going to rename the city from Njordland to Arcticana. Alright, because it does, of course, have the Hall of the Forefathers and the Shimmering Throne Room, so why not? And then this will be Njordland, should we capture it. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, well, that's the end of this episode. Just as a quick reminder, there will be 4 more episodes over the next 2 weeks, and in the end of this episode, so once you've done watching this, down in the comments there will be a pinned thread where you will put what ward you would like to run for, if you would like to run for one, and whatever reason people should vote for you. Now, for those of you who have multiple characters, that's fine. You can pick whichever character you want to run for the warden, but only 1 per actual real human being, okay? So the same person can't run for like 3 different wards with 3 different characters. So let's give everybody a chance. Other than that, I'm really enjoying a lot of the roleplay in the comments, especially some of you who are new and have only been doing so for a few episodes. Welcome. I'm really glad that we have you. Just another quick reminder that if you're roleplaying with other folks, just make sure that they're on board and that they're enjoying the interaction, that you're working together positively. I don't want to see people fighting with each other or anything like that. If some people want to do their roleplay kind of by themselves and they don't want others to impact their story, please respect that decision of theirs. and otherwise have just a great time. Alright, so once again, I'm Marcus Aurelius. I'd like to thank you very much for watching. Have a good one.